In this video, I'm going to be dissecting a pitch from investment newsletter guru Jeff Brown called Countdown to the SpaceX IPO. I want to help you determine whether he's really sharing anything significant. And more importantly, I'm going to reveal the names of the investments he appears to be teasing. Now, if you've watched any of Jeff Brown's presentations before, you'll know that he tends to make some very bold claims. That's just his style. He likes to frame opportunities as once-in-a-generation events. Sometimes there are interesting ideas buried beneath all the marketing, but there's usually quite a bit of hyperbole mixed in. And this pitch is no exception. According to Jeff, the SpaceX IPO is the most anticipated IPO in history. He even filmed the presentation near Starbase in Texas. Despite all the excitement around SpaceX, Jeff says he's not actually recommending SpaceX shares. Instead, he introduces what he calls shadow IPOs. The idea is that there are smaller companies whose fortunes could rise alongside SpaceX when SpaceX eventually goes public. Now, before we go any further, it's worth pointing out that Jeff believes SpaceX is no longer just a rocket company. He says SpaceX is poised to revolutionize artificial intelligence. And, to be fair, Elon Musk has been talking about the fact that AI will eventually run from space using satellites powered by solar energy. But obviously, Jeff has his focus on other stocks. The first one on his list is what he calls the backbone of space-based AI. According to his clues, this company is roughly 1,000th the size of SpaceX, trades around $10 per share, and has proprietary solar panel technology. The company has relationships with NASA, Boeing, Blue Origin, the U.S. Space Force, and has worked with SpaceX before. He also says it's located nearly 3,000 miles away from Silicon Valley, pointing toward the East Coast. Putting all these clues together, the company that seems to fit best is Redwire Corporation, ticker symbol RDW. Redwire is a space infrastructure company that develops advanced solar arrays, spacecraft components, docking systems, and digital engineering technologies. Its products have been involved in NASA's Artemis program and the Lunar Gateway Initiative. In other words, Redwire isn't launching rockets itself. Instead, it's selling the picks and shovels to the space industry. Financially, Redwire has been growing revenue steadily by expanding through acquisitions and increasing its exposure to defense and commercial space markets. However, like many smaller growth companies, profitability has been inconsistent. Revenue has improved substantially, but earnings have fluctuated, and debt levels are something investors should keep an eye on. Jeff's second stock pick is one he calls Elon Musk's secret AI accelerator. He says that it is much smaller than NVIDIA and SpaceX, but already serves giants like NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, Samsung, and Micron. This company doesn't manufacture chips itself. Instead, it licenses critical technology that allows processors and memory systems to communicate efficiently. These clues point pretty strongly toward Rambus, ticker symbol RMBS. Rambus has been around for decades. It specializes in memory interfaces and semiconductor intellectual property. It earns money through licensing agreements and royalties rather than building chips itself. That's actually a pretty attractive business model because it can generate high margins without requiring huge manufacturing facilities. Financially, Rambus has been doing fairly well. Revenue growth has been respectable, margins have been strong, and the company has maintained a healthy balance sheet. Unlike many speculative technology plays, Rambus is already profitable. That's one reason why some investors find it appealing. The third stock on his list is a company he describes as the national security space play. According to him, SpaceX will provide the eyes in the sky, while this company acts as the nervous system on the ground. He says this company is involved in command and control systems for missile defense and is essential for turning satellite data into military responses. Based on his clues, one of the strongest candidates appears to be Kratos Defense and Security Solutions, ticker symbol KTOS. Kratos operates in defense technology, unmanned systems, satellite communications, and military infrastructure. It has relationships with the Pentagon and focuses heavily on national security. Financially, Kratos has experienced decent revenue growth over the years. However, margins can be uneven, and growth expectations play a major role in how investors value the company. Some analysts have also suggested Palantir or BlackSky as possibilities, but Kratos seems to fit the clues most closely. What I find interesting about these three picks is that they aren't necessarily bad companies. In fact, all three operate in sectors that could experience long-term growth. The issue I have is with some of the marketing language surrounding them. When you hear Jeff utter phrases like 10 times bigger than SpaceX or 50 times the gains of the IPO, that's where I think investors need to slow down. Nobody knows whether these companies will outperform SpaceX, and nobody knows whether Elon Musk's AI vision will play out exactly as Jeff describes. Now, as with most presentations like this, all roads eventually lead to a newsletter. In this case, Jeff is promoting his exponential tech investor service. And honestly, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. So if you believe Jeff Brown has valuable insights and you want access to his research, that's entirely your decision. There's nothing wrong with trying out his newsletter if that's something that interests you. At the end of the day, your investment decisions should be based on your own strategy, your own goals, and your own tolerance for risk. And if you're unsure about what you should be doing, consider speaking with a licensed financial advisor who can give you advice tailored to your own circumstances. Thanks for tuning in, and if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to check out more teaser breakdowns on this channel. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe for more.